Good afternoon. Okay, I just want to jump on really quickly. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm supposed to be catching up on my notes, y'all. I've got to get myself together. All right. I wanted to, okay, there we are. I need to get rid of that. I wanted to share some thoughts and opinions I have about something that was discussed in a video I watched yesterday. And it was all about how, in the past, relationships were all about the needing of one another, right? And I agree that that is, in fact, the case, that we did need each other more prior to 50 years ago. We needed each other, right? You had a lot of men out here who were not good at cooking, were not good at cleaning, were not good at taking care of the kids. There's a lot of skills that women have that men have recently acquired. Men have recently acquired these skills, and now, men cook. Men clean, men take care of their kids on their own. I know several single fathers that have full custody of their children. Now, while that's a really great thing, and then of course, as we widely know, women are long outside of the home. Women are out here in corporate America. They're out here in lots of environments, making money, building businesses, doing all kinds of amazing things. So now women no longer rely on men for financial support. And so this video was basically saying the fact that we no longer need each other. That's a big problem when it comes to dating and relationships and marriage, is that the need for each other has gone away. Now, yes, when I look with my physical eyes, when I look around in the world and I think about it from a very 3D physical perspective, yes, that is in fact what we see. But those of us who don't rely on the 3D, those of us who live in the 5D, those of us who are more spiritual, and we recognize that most of what's going on out here in the world is a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual war that's being waged. Like, we understand that men and women need each other, that there are complementary things that we each have that we give to each other. We understand that. So those are the people that are still marrying. Those are the people that are still dating and are still getting to know each other. Those are the people that are still falling in love because they understand on a spiritual level. It's very much sight unseen, kind of like God, right? We can't see it. We can't taste it. We can't touch it. We can't, but those people who understand from a spiritual perspective, from a soul perspective, from a feeling perspective, right? They understand that we need each other. So those people, and that's what I would tell anybody who says, I struggle to find a good man or a good woman. You're going to have to find those people, right? Find those people who are spiritually connected, who understand on a feeling level that they need a man or need a woman. So regardless of how much money they make, regardless of the man being able to wash his own clothes and cook his own meals, he still understands the value of a woman. And this is something I said last night on one of our Zoom calls that we were in. I said, that's the thing I miss the most about days gone by, is that men knew the value of women. They knew the value of having a really good woman in their corner, in their home and with them, and doing life with a really good woman. And I would say the same about women. Women knew the value of having a good man. They didn't want to fool with their cars. They didn't want to fix things in the house. They didn't want to, wake up in the middle of the night to someone breaking their glass and calling 911 and figuring out what to do in the meantime. They understood that there are benefits to having a man. And this idea of shaming one another, right? And I see it on both sides. I see a lack of empathy, a lack of compassion from women to men, and I definitely see it from men to women. And the reason why I knew that we as a culture, we had reached this place of no return was when people started doing that with children. Like when you have a hate or a disdain for children, when you are talking crazy about children, like we've gone too far. When we no longer seek to protect our most vulnerable citizens, we have gone too far. So we got to get back to making the main thing the main thing. And the reality is we need each other. And to the ladies who are like, oh, I want to have a baby. I don't see myself getting married. Okay, but if the men did not give their semen, if they didn't give their sperm to a sperm bank, what would you do? So you need a man. You need a man. You need what it is that a man produces. Because here's the thing that I say this all the time. I say this all the time. God will never allow humans to outdo him. So and this is what I mean by that. If all men stopped giving their semen, stopped giving their sperm to sperm banks, right? If that stopped overnight, science is not going to find another way to reproduce humans. That's just not going to happen. So all of you women in your 40s and your 50s and you freezing your eggs and doing all this stuff, you would not have a child. You would be out of luck. Because the bottom line is you need a man. All those lesbian couples that are out here having children, you wouldn't have no children. Because putting two eggs together does not make a child. You need a man. You need a man. Okay? God's not going to let his creation outdo him. That's never going to happen. I stake my life on it. We're never going to grow humans outside of a human body. We're never going to create humans where we're missing the egg or the sperm. That's never going to happen. So for the men out there, right? For the men out there, maybe you're in a gay relationship. Maybe, I don't know many men that want to have straight men that want to have a baby on their own, but maybe that exists. But if no woman signs up to give you her eggs, if no woman signs up to loan you her womb, you will not be having no kids. You won't be having no kids. And the whole race will die off. The whole human race will die off. So just understand that we need each other. So what is this video about? I didn't make this point last night, but I'm going to make it on this video. I think we are actually about to enter into a season where we're going to need each other again. I think that's what the next 4 years is really about. And while a lot of you all think it's going to be horrific, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to us, oh my gosh, how are we going to make it? I'm leaving the country, all the things that y'all say. Here's what I predict might actually be a good thing. So if this government programs and government funding and people losing their jobs and, the economy going haywire, right? If all of that stuff goes down, and guess what? All you single people out here that living on your own, living at home, maybe you own a home, maybe you live in an apartment or whatever, it's going to get real hard for you to keep doing it by yourself. You're going to start needing each other. You're going to need to pair up with someone else to buy a home. You're going to need to pair up with someone else to afford things that we take for granted right now. Think about that. That's what could be coming. I don't know. I'm just, this is conjecture, but that's what could be coming. And in some ways, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need to be pushed into a state of needing each other again. So women needing men and men needing women. It's just like if the world were to wind down tomorrow. So if all heck broke loose and the world wound down and the planes coming out of the sky and let's say Russia bombed us or, other countries came for us. Okay, it's going to be a lot of women out there needing men. It's going to be a lot of women out there needing some men in their corner. And so sometimes when things get rough, when things get bad, there's a blessing in disguise in that. And it brings us together. So here is one of my examples. And I want you to remember this if you can, if you were, of age when this happened. So I want you to think about 9/11. Okay? Think about 9/11. That happened in 2001. So this year will be 24 years. That was 24 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I do. I remember 9/11 like it was yesterday. And for quite a few years after 9/11, when I tell you the country was united, when I tell you there was no Republican or Democrat, there was no black or white, there was no red or yellow, like we were united. We came together and we needed to. Something horrific happened in our country, on our U.S. soil. And we came together. As dark as that day was, there was a lot of blessing that came out of that day. We lost thousands of people, thousands of lives lost in one day. And like I said, as dark as that day was, for years after that, we came together. There was no bipartisanship. There was no bickering and fight. No, we were like, we are all Americans. We are all here in the United States of America, and this incident has happened on U.S. soil. We all came together. So I'm not predicting that something as serious as that is going to happen again, but I am predicting that something that is going to happen that is going to force us to needing each other. We're going to come together again. And that probably needs to happen because right now the country is as divided as it's ever been. The genders, I never, ever thought in all of my years I would see the genders divided the way they are now. I never thought I'd see this. I never thought I'd see men spew such hate towards women. I never thought I'd see the day where women would spew such hate towards men. Like, there are channels that I'm trying to clear my algorithm of now over on YouTube. These women sit around all day, every day and clip together TikTok and Instagram videos and reels and all. They just clip together all these reels, all these TikTok videos of women talking about how horrible men are, how horrible they are, how awful they are. They can't be trusted. They're transactional. They're not capable of love. Like, this is what women are doing all day, every day. And what's really wild, let me tell you what's wild. Some of these women, the channels like that pop up and I go, do not recommend. I'm trying to clean my algorithm, right? I will do research on some of these women. Do you know some of these women are married? Some of these women are married. Some of these women have male children. Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting this hate out into the world? What do you hope to gain? It's really, really sad. And then don't get me started on the red pill rage and the red pill backlash and, Kevin Samuels kind of taking the lid off of Pandora's box, right? And now men feel a way about all this different stuff and men can't pay for dates and men can't do this and that and men hate women's hair and they hate the lashes and they hate the nails and they hate the BBL. It's just crazy. And last I checked, this is what's real wild. Last I checked, women been wearing wigs since the 20s, 1910. Okay. Women been putting makeup on since Cleopatra. And now all of a sudden it's so god awful. It's so horrible. Oh my God, these women. I'm like, well, women been doing this since Bible days. Like, I'm confused. But now it's so hot, it's so awful. And the hair and the look, the what do they call it? Where they put it around your waist and pull it tight. What the heck is it called? I mean, but we've been doing this stuff. We've been pushing up. We've been pushing our stuff up and tightening our waist. I mean, we've been doing this stuff for centuries. And now all of a sudden, it's so horrible. It's so awful. I'm just like, what is happening? There was more acceptance of the difference of genders for years. Like, men just accepted, yeah, that's what women do. Women wear lipstick, women wear mascara, women, sometimes they have on a wig, sometimes, and it was just accepted. She's a woman. She's a woman. That's what women do. And in women, what did we say? We called it a football widow. We accepted that men watch football, and during football season, every Sunday after church, that's where they was going to be. I'm a football widow. Like, we accepted things about each other that's just what it was. But now all of a sudden it's just unacceptable. We accepted the fact that most men did not talk a lot. They did not express their feelings a lot. Most men are stoic. They're the strong, silent type. We accepted that. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. He don't talk. He don't do these, he don't watch these chick flicks, and he don't crochet, and what? Huh? Since when have we lost all this acceptance for the fact that there are two genders? There's men and there's women. And yes, we are different. But again, over the last 20 years, you've been sold this narrative that we're not. We're all the same. A man and a woman is the same. They can do the same thing. And, it's no different. And women should have whatever job they want. And men should have and you have literally swallowed this whole. You have let this system, you've let this culture talk you into hating the other gender. That blows my mind. That's how far gone critical thinking is. You've let the media and the culture convince you, so this is for the ladies, that men are dangerous, that men can't love, that they're not human, they're like animals. You've let them, honest to God, convince you of this. But yet, for thousands and thousands of years, we have been living side by side with men. We have been letting men take care of us. We've been having children and letting these men take care of us and our children. But now all of a sudden, we'd rather have the bear. This is insane. Okay, I had a comment. Oh yeah, I'm aware these women are married with children. Tyree said something similar. Yeah, it's weird. Like, what would I look like, y'all, having a whole husband at home, having male children, and yet I created a YouTube channel talking about how dangerous men are, how horrible men are. Girls, stay away from these men. What? That's insane. He said that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, I want to understand. And again, I can't blame it all on media. I can't blame it all on the culture, because it's like we can't think for ourselves. Like, I live in the culture. I watch media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. And yet I know that's a lie. Why don't all the millions of other people know that? That is a lie. And I could speak the same on men. Red pill men. Let's go there. Red pill men that are married. Red pill men that have written several books on the nature of women. Women can't love. Women can't be trusted. Women aren't loyal. And they have a whole wife at home. They have a whole daughters at home. Help me to make sense of that, because it don't make sense. To my critical thinking mind, that don't make no sense. How can you speak so vehemently against women and you have a wife and you have daughters? Like, help me to, Am I missing something? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. But that don't make no sense. I would never think to make content like that because, again, we need each other. I need a man. I need a husband. I need a strong Christian leader. I need a strong, viable, masculine man. And there will always be a part of my life that's just a little part that I'm like, dang. And I tell people that if I never got another husband, I'm going to be fine. But it's like this little part of me that's missing. That's the truth. It's just like God. It's just like God. If I turn my back on God, now that ain't no little part, that's a big part. There's a big part of me that's now missing if I were to turn my back on God. So, yeah, if I never got another husband, if I never got another man in my life, there's always that little part of me that's missing. Because think about it. Woman was made from man. We came from the side of him, from his rib. So I will always feel like something isn't quite right. Something is missing. I don't know. Something is missing, right? And then every man from that day forward came out of the womb of a woman. And what do I always tell y'all? From the vagina you have came, and to the vagina you will return. That's why men need women. You came from it, you go back to it every time. Okay? We need each other. There's something missing from each of our lives when men don't have women and when women don't have men. And yes, I can get some of that masculine containment through my male friends. I can get some of it through my father. I can get some of it through my brothers. I can get some of it through some of the men at church, men at work, or what have you. But it's something different about doing life with a husband, with a man who lives in my home, we live together. He don't live in my home. We live in our home. It's just different. It's just a different level of masculine containment. My son, right? My son lives here, but it's different. It's very different. And I would say the same of men. A man who lives on his own, a man who is a bachelor, a man who doesn't have a wife or a woman in his life, he's missing something. His home is missing something. He's missing something. And I'm gonna put this in the kindest way I can. It's almost like how they say music soothes the savage beast, right? It's kind of like that. He's missing a certain amount of civility or tameness. I think that's why we're seeing men act out in the ways that they are. Because they're without women, they're without civility. They are literally acting like beasts, like animals. They are saying the most vicious things. They are talking about women, single mothers, children. Like, these men are not civilized. You understand? Because no civilized human being would come for a single mother's children. Like, that's not civilized behavior. I mean, and then, like I said, if you on the dating apps and you see the things that they write in their profile, if you see the anger and the frustration in which they write in all caps and there's no punctuation and, the things that they say. And again, it's the sexualization of our culture. So women are not even people. They're not even real souls or spirits to them. They are just a bunch of body parts that, are there for their carnal pleasure. They don't even see a woman as real. So the OnlyFans, the pornography, like, a woman isn't even real. She's just something to gratify his flesh. But that's where we are. Dark times. And like I said, women on their side, they see men as beasts. They see men as violent, predatory animals. And I'm sorry, I've read a lot of these books. I've read some of these feminist books just so I could gain clarity or get some understanding, but that's not what I see. the most genteel, the most emotionally intelligent, the most kind, the most loving person in the world, which was Jesus, was a man. Jesus was a man. He was an unmarried man. He was a virgin man. I look at his apostles. I look at other men in the Bible. You cannot tell me, no, that's not God's creation. We are all made in God's image, and we've gotten clear away from that. And if we would just seek God's face again, maybe we can go beyond bringing back our humanity. We can bring back our God-likeness. So we're going to need each other. That's my prediction. In the next 9-10 months, in the next 4 years, things are going to get hard. Things are going to get real rough. And you're going to find out how much you're going to need each other. You need each other, right? If men stop giving semen and sperm to these sperm banks, these women will be in trouble. Y'all be in trouble. Y'all wouldn't have no children. And look, if the women, come into their right mind and stop doing OnlyFans, stop doing pornography, if they wake up, y'all men will be in trouble. There's no more sexual explicit content. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share. I just want to see us grow. I want to see us do better. I pray every night that it happens in my lifetime. It may not. I hope it happens in my children's lifetime because I want to see them get married and have a family. So I'm never going to give up on that. I'm never, ever, ever. I'm going down swinging. I'm going down fighting for our future. All right, so have a great day. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, share it with anyone you think could benefit from it, and subscribe to the channel. I thank you so much. And check out the link in the description box below for Skool. We're having a great time over there. I hope you can join us. Have a great day, and as always, stay open to love.